How many times have we looked at something that happened in our life and immediately called it a disaster? And how many times did that same disaster later turn out to be a hidden blessing? The truth is, we are never wise enough to judge life in the moment it arrives. What feels like a loss today might be preparing us for something far greater tomorrow. Today's story is about a simple farmer who understood the art of patience and trust in life's timing. A long time ago, nestled in the rolling green hills of Tennessee, there lay a small quiet town called Millbrook. People worked the land, shared stories on front porches, and measured their worth by what they owned. Among the townspeople lived a farmer named Tom Hayes, not rich, not powerful. He lived there with his wife Maggie and his son Caleb, a strong young man who rose before dawn every morning without complaint. But there was one thing this family treasured above all else: a horse named Ranger. No matter what happened, good or bad, Tom never lost his calm. He would simply say, "Who knows what is good and what is bad? Only time will tell. Be patient, be thankful, and keep your faith strong." A wealthy livestock merchant named Richard Caldwell came to Millbrook and was stunned when he saw Ranger. He immediately took out a thick envelope of cash and offered it to Tom. But Tom gently shook his head and said Ranger was part of their family and not for sale at any price. Caldwell left disappointed, and Millbrook erupted with gossip, calling Tom a foolish man who threw away his one big chance. A few days later, Caleb found the stable empty. Ranger was gone. That evening, he asked his father how he could possibly be so calm. Tom placed his hand on his son's shoulder and said, "What looks like a loss today may not be a loss tomorrow." Early one misty morning, Ranger came galloping back through the gate, and behind him followed 5 wild horses. Strong, untamed, and magnificent. The whole town buzzed with excitement, but Tom smiled and said, "Don't celebrate too soon." Eager to break in the wild horses, Caleb mounted the strongest stallion and was thrown hard to the ground, breaking his right leg in 2 places. 2 weeks later, government soldiers arrived with a draft order. War had broken out. One by one, the young men of Millbrook were taken. When soldiers came to the Hayes farm and saw Caleb's splinted leg, they moved on without him. Months passed. Of the 23 young men taken from Millbrook, only 9 returned. And there sat Caleb alive and healing beside his father under the old oak tree. He looked at his father with new eyes and said every time he thought the world was ending, it was actually beginning something new. Tom nodded and said, "Never celebrate too quickly, and never grieve too deeply. Life is like a river, it turns and bends, and you cannot see what lies ahead. Be patient, be thankful, and keep your faith strong." This is the story of Tom. Hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel.